What's up guys, it's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity build a video. So today we're going to be talking about some of the tips that you guys can use, whether you're high or low level players, to kind of make sure that you are selecting the right things here, the right assignments. Now, one of the things that a lot of people are messing up on is the order in which they should be rotating their assignments. And honestly, a lot of people, when you, hold on just a second here. When you look at a starting list, okay, you go through and you mark it with main, rotatable, no touch, cancels. That kind of breaks your list down into sections, right? That way you can figure out which ones need done first and then which ones are on standby. So the idea here is that if you were to put down on, let's say, hold on just a second, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so main, rotatable, no touch, okay? Just pretend this is your list. Doesn't really matter what the assignment is right now, because what I'm trying to explain to you is just the technique. So what you're doing is you're clearing all of the mains. So you do your main task, okay? Let's just say you do the one that is the correct choice based on all of the other techniques that you've learned, and you get another main task in its place. Now you're reassessing all of your entire list, and you're going through and you're picking out the right main task that is the correct choice. Let's say it's this one, and you get a rotatable task in its place, meaning it's not a main task, it's below 2,000 points. Now you're going down to the other two main tasks, right? Until eventually, let's say you do that and you get another main. You do that, you get another main. Either way, until eventually you're in this situation where they've been replaced with either no touch tasks or rotatable options, right? Now, once all of those main tasks are gone, is when the hard stuff comes in. This is when you have to look at everything. It's when you have to decide which one of these rotatable options brings the highest in value, the highest in opportunity, the highest in value opportunity. So you have opportunity within value. So let's say that you've looked at value and value opportunity, okay? You did that for all the rotatable options. Now you can pick out the two that you need to compare. That's really what it comes down to. When you do the contest to mayor's math, you're doing it and comparing the entire list of tasks. Then you select the two that are the most promising, and you compare them against each other. For example, a lot of people, when they do their comparison, they look at value and opportunity at best. They don't look at all the other stuff, right? So let's say you have a 1200 cargo versus, actually let's say it's a 1600 cargo versus, oops, no. We're going to do 1200 cargo versus a 1000 VU. Okay? Now, can we conclude which is the correct choice based on what we're looking at right now? No, we can't. Which is exactly why when people send me the top and bottom of their list, I can give them the right choice based on the list that I'm looking at only, but not 100% authentic advice can be given without actually having seen all their previous choices. And the reason for that is because the doorway in which these two assignments lie speaks greatly to which one needs cleared and the history of their tasks, right? For example, let's say that VU has been sitting there since the start of the contest, and it hasn't been done at all. VU brings good opportunity for how long it's been sitting and the fact that it is a 3,000 point premium, right? It's a premium option that has a value possibility of up to 3,000 points. The cargo, let's say the cargo has just come in. It's the second or third time that we've done it already for, let's say, 16 or 1,800. So it's repeatedly been coming in. It's costing us cash. It hasn't given us anything promising, and we haven't even tried the VU yet. VU would be the correct choice under those circumstances. Okay? Now let's flip it around. VU just came in. It hasn't been good to us. We've done it twice already. And cargo's been sitting there at the bottom since the beginning. Which one would be the correct choice? The cargo. It will likely open up better opportunities. So what people aren't doing is they're looking at the opportunity of the task just in a plain Jane list, not looking at the history of their assignments. You have to pay very close attention to what goes on in your game. What assignments have you done already multiple times? And that is why it is in your best interest to take screenshots of your stuff so that you can go back through and see which doorways you ignored. And by doorways, I mean like this. Place values. Let's say that you started your list with 2 main options, okay? And that you worked this one task, just this one place value here, okay? For 10, 15 tasks. And it's been giving you stuff at between 1,600 and 2,000 points. So you get a 2,000 delivery, you get a 2,000 production, you get another 2,000 production, you get a 2,000 war. Everything's going okay, but not great, right? Then it starts to give you like a 1,600 smoothies, and then a 1,200 cargo, and now you're at this 1,200 cargo versus VU. So you do the cargo because it's worth 200 more points. Not thinking, hey, I've been working this doorway for a long time. You know, I'm not getting anything great. Even though I'm getting 200 extra points now, I'm not thinking about what it's going to do for me futuristically. So you do the cargo instead of the VU, and you just continue to get sucked back into this vicious cycle of garbage tasks, or you break that cycle, you open up a new doorway, and you open up better possibilities. Now, knowing which one to open up, you have to look at everything. You have to look at value, value opportunity, value difference, value possibility. How much can this task be worth? You know, for example, let's say that we're comparing a 2,400 launch legendary attack versus a 2,400 epic. Prime example, okay? The epic you have had come back several times. You know it's going to be done because it has to be done, but you're just about to start the streaks, right? So which one would be better to clear first? They're both of the same value. Well, that's when you start looking at everything. Look at the fact that the legendary attack can be worth up to 3,600 points. The fact that it is limited, it can only be done during an active war or against the monster. That automatically makes that task better to do than the 2,400 epic, right? So let's do that same scenario, okay, with different value points. So it's a 1,200 epic versus a 1,200 launch legendary. The epic is not started, and you're just about to your streaks. You would obviously still do the legendary, right? Because you don't want to open up the possibility of the epic reoccurring in the streaks so that you could end up in a situation where you need a 12-hour downtime just to complete the epic. That would be a problem. because then you could potentially fail the streak, right? So you have to look at the future. You have to look at the upgrades. You know, like, do you have all 7 upgrades in your list so that you can even start the streaks? If you're only working 1 place value, you're not leaving very much options for things to come in. It's not until the upgrade comes in that most people decide, oh, I need to scoot down and start doing some of these other options here. And you put yourself in a big problem if you don't get all 7 upgrades stacked up before those streaks. When you're somebody who's camping, you can't finish a streak if you get an upgrade in it, which means you automatically fail. And normally, the assignments within the streaks are of a lower value, and then you get the bonus points. So if you take lower valued assignments and lose those bonus points, it's like getting hit twice, right? So history, what's limited time? You know, is it something that needs done now? You need to think about what's not able to come in by the result of your choices. But more importantly, a lot of people struggle with value difference over op, okay? Knowing when to take less points for better opportunities. And that really comes down to the value possibility and the algorithm of the task. You know, if it's, let's say, if you get a task that is like upgrade hotspot or something, that task doesn't come in very often. It's usually a good task to clear out for a better option. Whereas if you get something like, I don't know, design challenge or something, that one can come back quite a bit and just be a total pain in the butt. So you have to get to know the tasks in their algorithm. Now, I do have all of that in the Contest to Mayor's Guide. So if you guys actually pick up the, go to our Facebook page, SimCity Build at MissyAnne, open up the CoM Quick Guide, and it should be in the description of all the videos on my YouTube channel. But if you look here, it explains rules of rotation, it explains all that stuff. Main tasks, no touch, and then I go through each one and I explain what they can be worth, what the algorithm is of the task, their opportunity, and your risk. Now this particular guide is going to be exceptionally helpful to you. For example, I cannot emphasize enough how many people pick to do a 1200 repair over a 1200 keys. It just, I can't tell people how many times have I told people that keys is something that usually comes, when it comes back, it usually comes back worth 2,000 points or higher, and it usually stays gone for longer than the repair. Repair typically comes almost back immediately and has a less likely chance of coming in worth a 2K value or higher. So if it comes down to picking between repair and keys of equal value, you're obviously going to pick keys, right? Now, as a low-level player, somebody with a 1600 keys or 1600 repair is going to actually do that as a rotatable option, whereas a high-level player more than likely won't. They'll have better options, better upgrades, and things like that that they can rely on. So do the best that you can with what I've just explained to you, but do not forget you have to look at your doorways, the history of your tasks and choices, and overall trying to predict what's going to happen and trying to avoid certain things from coming in. Okay? Good luck.